Hello friends, welcome back to your UPSC. Today we are going to start with laws, models and concepts of economic geography or human geography, and the first model that we will study is system analysis model. So let's get started. So today we will study about system analysis model. Now system analysis, as the name suggests, it studies or it tries to study about system, any system. Okay, so before starting with the concept of system analysis, let's first understand what exactly is system. So system, we can say it is a whole body. Now this whole body can be a person, a state, a culture, a business, any institution, anything. Okay, so this whole body, it functions as a single entity or as a singular entity. Okay, now this body, it has many interdependent elements inside it. Okay, or we can say these are interdependent parts. So these parts, they are interrelated and interdependent on each other. They cannot function individually. Okay, so all these things, all these parts, they combine to form a system. Okay, and this system is a independent body. Okay, so this system is an independent body, but inside it we have many parts which are interrelated, interconnected with each other, and they cannot function individually. Okay, so from these parts the system is formed, and this system is an independent body. Now, as we know about the concept of system, now we will look into what exactly is system analysis. So system analysis, it provides the whole framework for describing the whole complex structure of activity, structure and activity. Okay, so the whole framework of the system, how it functions, how the parts, its individual parts, they are interdependent and interlinked with each other. Okay, so this whole complex is, or the whole functioning or framework of this complex is described by system analysis. Okay, and how these structure or the activities of these structure, how these structure function, everything is described, and its information is provided by the concept of, or by the model of system analysis. Okay, now if we talk about the concept of system analysis, we will see that initially this concept was introduced by Bertrand Fay. Okay, so Bertrand Fay was a biologist. So he actually introduced this concept in biological system. Okay, and this concept was introduced in 1920. Okay, so see, we have a human being. Okay, in human being we have respiratory system, we have digestive system, we have circulatory system, we have neural system. Okay, digestive system, excretory system, all these things, they are nothing when they are independent. Okay, or we can say all the organs, like we have brain, we have heart, we have stomach, we have liver, kidney and all that. Okay, so all these things, they are, when they are independent, they are just a part. Okay, they are nothing. Okay, but when they combine with each other, when they form a system, okay, then a whole human body, a whole functioning human body is formed. Okay, so this is what exactly he in the concept that was introduced by Bertrand Fay, he tried to explain this concept, or he tried to explain systematic analysis by explaining this concept. So likewise, like this, in 1920, this concept was first introduced in biology. But later on, the scholars they start to realize that this system analysis model, it can be used in different aspects or in different disciplines of sciences. Okay, like not only in biology, we can see that in physics also we can study about system analysis. In chemistry also we can study about it. In geography also we can study about the whole concept of system analysis. Like we can take a space as a system, okay, and all the elements that are in it as a part of it. Okay, so here also in geography also we can introduce the system of system analysis or the model of system analysis. Now many scholars, like we have Carole, Berry, etc., we have these scholars, they introduce the concept of system analysis and general system theory. Okay, so these two models or these two concepts, that is system analysis and general system theory, they were introduced by Corley and Berry. Okay, and on the base, and they introduced this concept as a basic tool for understanding geography. Okay, so geographical system, they said that can be best explained by the concept of system analysis or general system theory. Okay, so for understanding the whole concept of geography, they introduced the concept of system analysis and general system theory in geography or in the field of geography. Now we will take the advantages of system analysis later on. First, we will study about the aspects of system analysis. So there are basically three aspects of system analysis on which the whole system analysis it works. First aspect is structure. So like we have any institute, okay, so all the elements that are present in it, how these elements they are interdependent or linked with each other, how they are interconnected with each other, and their total working, all this thing they are understood, or they come under the concept of structure. So the basic fundamental unit, okay, is when its element and all its connections, all its links, when they are studied under structure. So structure, it has three basic component. First is element. Okay, so all the parts, like in human body, if we talk about the elements, we will study about the different organs that we have. Okay, so we will study about different parts of the system. Okay, so we will study about different parts of the system which are nothing when they are independent, but when they are connected or when they are interrelated or linked with each other, they will form a whole body, or they will form a whole institution or a whole system. Okay, so this was element. Now all these parts, how they are interconnected with each other. Like for example, if we say this is our field, okay, so let's take this field as a system. So here we grow crops. Okay, so these crops, they are dependent on rainfall, we can say climate, water, soil. Okay, so when all these three elements they combine and they are interlinked with each other, and their interrelation or their links they are well set up, then only we can get crop, or we can yield crops. Okay, so all these links, that is their connections, they are studied in the link, under the concept of link. Lastly, we have interrelationship. How these links, how these elements they are interrelated on each other, how this function or how these parts they are interdependent on each other, so that they form link, and in a whole they form a system. So all these linkages and their interdependence, they are studied under interrelationship. Next we have is function. Okay, now we have a system. Okay, like we have a human body. Now this whole human body, it has to do some function. Okay, so the function that are to be performed by the system, they are studied under functions. Okay, so all the activities that that a system has to perform, they are studied under function. Last is development. So it studies about how this whole system has developed. See, like we have studied in this one, we have respiratory system, we have excretory system, we have digestive system. Okay, we have circulatory system. Now this respiratory system, it involves nose. Okay, it involves our lungs. Okay, it involves our windpipe. Okay, our mouth. So all these organs, they are involved to form a respiratory system. Okay, so in this we will see that we have some subsystems. They form a system, that is, we can say, respiratory system. Okay, so all these subsystems, they will combine to form a system, and these systems, they combine like respiratory system, excretory system, digestive system. All these systems, they will combine to form a super system. Okay, and the super system is human body. Okay, so likewise the development of the system is studied, how all the subsystems and systems, how they are connected, how they work. All this development or all this organization of the system is studied under the development, and here we study how these systems and subsystems, they are connected to form a super system or to form a functioning system. Okay, now we will study about the characteristics of system analysis. First of all, this system analysis, it tries to simplify all the complex structures. Okay, so here we can see how much complex a human body is, but when we disintegrate it and when we divide it and subdivide it, we are able to understand the whole system and the whole concept. Okay, so this work is done by system analysis model, and hence the complex human structure is simplified, and it can be easy for us to study this structure. Okay, now next point is the interrelationship between each element and their interaction is studied in it. Okay, so all the elements, like we have respiratory system, excretory system, digestive system, circulatory system. So each of these elements, their interrelationships and their interactions, all of this is studied under a system analysis. Okay, and we have information about each and every subsystem or each and every element. Okay, so all these elements, we have equal information about all these elements, and this information is provided by system analysis model. And at last we will try to understand this whole concept by understanding this whole concept by the use of system analysis model. We try to understand this whole concept or this whole system. Okay, so that is another characteristic of system analysis model. Now for understanding this whole concept, we use the concept of cybernetics. Cybernetics is basically, it studies regulating and self-regulating mechanism in nature. Okay, so like we have classroom. Okay, here we have a teacher or a monitor. He regulates the whole class. Okay, so how a system is regulated is studied in cybernetics. And self-regulating mechanisms, like we have our human body, our human temperature, it self-regulates itself, even if we are having different climatic conditions throughout the year. Okay, so it is not like one day our temperature is something else and another day we are having some other temperature. Okay, so with rise and fall in temperature, our body, it tries to like modify its temperature so that our whole body temperature, it remains constant. Okay, so cybernetics, it studies the regulating and self-regulating mechanism in nature and technology, and it follows a program. Okay, and so for studying the mechanism of nature and technology, it follows a program, and this program is actually a course of action which produce a predetermined operation. Okay, so see, there are prescribed action, okay, which we have to perform. So all these prescribed action, they are known as program. Okay, and by using these programs, we are able to study the regulating and non-regulating mechanisms in the nature and in the technology. And this study is known as cybernetics. And with the help of cybernetics, we are able to understand the whole concept of system analysis, or we are able to understand the whole concept of the system which we are studying. Okay, or the system under observation. Now we will look into advantages of system analysis. First, the system analysis, there is a need to study the system rather than isolated phenomena. Okay, so in system analysis, we study the whole system rather than studying isolated phenomena like each and every element. Rather than studying each and every element, we try to study the whole concept or the whole system. Okay, next is there is a need to identify the basic principle governing system. Okay, so what is the basic principle that governs the whole system, how the whole function works, that is identified in the system analysis. Next, the value in arguing from analogies with each subject matters. Okay, so by discussing about the values and by discussing the whole subject matter, we are able to find out the extract or the essence of the whole system. Lastly, the general principle, the general principles, they are needed to cover various systems. So for understanding various similar type of system, there is a general principles that has to be followed. Okay, and by following this, we can understand the whole system. Now, after advantages, we will look into different type of interrelations that exist between a system. Okay, so first type of interrelation is a series relation. Okay, series relation is also known as cause effect relation. Like I am doing something, like I am pushing someone. Okay, I am pushing someone, and that person is falling. Okay, so this is the cause and this is the effect of it. So this is a cause effect relation. Okay, so because of some action, some results or some output is given, and this action and this output, the cause and the effect of it, they are studied in the series relation. Next one is our parallel relation. Series relation is the simplest one. Second is our parallel relation. In parallel relation, we have two or more elements that influences one element. Okay, like for example, for having a good yield, we need to have good irrigation facility, good soil, good fertilizers that are available, okay, good seeds. So all these things and various other things, they are required for having a good yield. Okay, so this is our parallel relation. Next is a feedback relation. Okay, feedback relation is a type of loop relation. So whatever I am doing, so X is my course of action. Okay, now after performing this action, I get some result, and by that result, or by achieving that result, this result will act as a feedback, and I will be stimulated to do the work again. Okay, so here we have three type of feedback relation. First is positive feedback, like if I work hard, I will succeed in my examination. Okay, so I am working hard, then I am succeeding in my examination, or I am doing well in my examination. Sorry. Now, because of this, because I am doing well in my examination, I will study much harder, and I will get more better result. Okay, I will get much better results. Okay, so this is the positive feedback. Next is there is no feedback. Like I am doing something and the return or the results, they are same. Okay, so there is no change in my activity and there is no change in the result. Like how, like I am studying like 2 hours per day. Okay, like if someone, or I am studying 2 hours per day. Okay, and I continue to study 2 hours per day, so the result I was getting back then, I will get the result at the present. Okay, so the similar result will be given. Next is the negative feedback. In the negative feedback, what happens is, this negative feedback is also known as self-regulating system. Like I am not studying, okay, like I don't study, then I get less marks. Okay, now because of less marks, I get disappointed. Now I will regulate my studies and I will try to work hard. Okay, then this is the feedback. Okay, I will not be able to get good marks in my examination, and because of that I will get stimulated to have better result next time. Okay, so this is negative feedback. Okay, so these are self-regulating. They are self-encouraging or self-enhancing. Okay, and these are like similar type of relation. Now next is our simple compound relationship. Simple compound relationship, here we have two elements. Here we study two elements and their relationship, how they are interrelated to each other, and the action they perform, the feedback they get, everything is studied in this one. Okay, so here we study about parallel relation as well as feedback relation. Next is our complex compound relation. Complex compound relation, here we try to find out interrelation between the inputs and outputs of one another, and here we also study about the feedback loops. Okay, so this is much complex one and this one is simpler one. Okay, so these are the types of interrelationship between the system. Next is behavior of a system. Now see, in system we have various elements, and these elements, they are interrelated, they are interconnected with each other. Okay, and whatever action one element does, the others, they are affected by it, and at last we have a reciprocal effect on the first element. Okay, so there is interrelation, interconnection, and there is feedback relation also in a system. Now these elements or the behavior of the system in this, we study about the flow, the stimuli and the response, the input and output in a system. Okay, so how one work is done, how one thing is stimulated, and what are the feedbacks that we get from the result. Okay, then what are the inputs that we put and what are the output that we get. All these things are studied in the behavior of a system. And the behavior of system is described by an equation like we have input, then we have system, and then we have the output. Okay, so this is the basic equation. See, what happens is, like if one element in a system, it changes its behavior, then other elements, they will simultaneously change their behavior. Okay, and this change will keep on going till a equilibrium is achieved by the whole system again. Okay, and with this we will see that the whole behavior of a system or is dependent on the behavior of each and every individual element. Okay, so this is about the behavior of a system. Now we will look into types of system. So we basically have 7 types of system. First one we have is isolated system. Okay, so the first one is isolated system. In isolated system, there is no exchange of matter and there is no exchange of energy. Okay, so here nothing is allowed to interact with the outside world. Okay, neither the energy is transferred or neither the energy is exchanged nor the matter are exchanged with the outside world. Next we have closed system. In a closed system, the matters, they are not exchanged with the outer world, but the energy, it is exchanged with the outer world. Like we have a container having hot water. Okay, so we can see that the outside air, it becomes hot, but the water in the container, it remains as it is. Okay, so only the heat energy is able to get transmitted to the outer atmosphere, but the water in the jar, it remains as it is. Okay, so this is a closed system. Next we have is an open system. In an open system, there is free exchange of matter and energy. Then next we have morphological system. Morphological system, there is a connection between each and every individual element. So every individual element, they are connected within themselves and with the outside world. Okay, so this is known as, or this case is known as morphological system. Now the next system is our cascading system. In the cascading system, we study about the flow of energy. Okay, so how this flow of energy it is, or how this flow of energy is working in a system, that is studied, or that comes under the cascading system. Now next we have is process response system. In the process response system, the functioning of morphological system and cascading system, both are acting together. Okay, so here we will study about the flow of energy and connection between individual elements. So how our flow of energy, it is connecting, or it is influencing the each and every individual element. Okay, so that will be studied in process response system. Lastly, we have our ecosystem. It is having a whole system, or it includes all type of super systems, subsystems within this ecosystem. Each and every type of systems, they are included, or they come in the ecosystem. Now, these are the types of systems, but these systems, they remain in three types of states. Okay, first is they remain in equilibrium state, where they are fully saturated. Okay, neither they want to increase anything, or nor they want to decrease anything. The matter and the energy, everything is having is in appropriate quantity. Okay, so this system is known as steady system, which is in equilibrium state. Next, we have metastable system. So this system is stable, but it tries to attain more stability. Okay, so this type of system, which is already stable, but it tries more and more harder, or it tries more and more to attain much more stability. And lastly, we have the dynamic system, which keeps on changing, which is never stable. Okay, so these are the states of system, and these are the types of system, and all these systems, they are studied and they are analyzed under the system analysis model. So with this, we come to the end of our lecture. That was all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. Let's meet in our next class. Till then, take care and have a nice day. Thank you.